The thing is, there's a certain level of realization of sexual energy. Now, most people know only two. They know the lower two, and that's where they live. But there are so many more. Now imagine each person is like a very powerful machine. Let's say a Ferrari. Yes, a powerful car with a 7-speed gearbox. Have you ever driven a Ferrari? No? Well, when you get behind the wheel of a Ferrari, you sit down and it's simple. You feel power. Even when it's stationary, you don't even need to start it. But if you do, you feel it even more. You feel all the horsepower, all that motor energy under the hood when you hold the steering wheel. You feel how powerful it is. And most people in the world now have the same feeling. Always at presentations and conferences, I ask the audience, please raise your hand if you feel there is some powerful energy inside you that you haven't yet realized, but know is there. Raise your hand if you feel like you could do more in life but aren't doing it. For whatever reasons, please. When I'm addressing the audience, I'm constantly asking this. I'm asking, tell me if you feel you are capable of more, but for some reason it's not happening. And 100% of the audience raises their hands. And why is that? It's because every person has a huge energetic potential, but they don't know how to use it. Every person in the world now lives on 20% at best, but most actually 10% or 5 to 10% of their energetic potential. What does this mean? Everyone strives to be richer and happier. And why? Because they know they can be. Do you understand? They know they can be. Every person feels, I can be happier, richer, more successful. This is real. Every person living on Earth is capable of living 10 to 20 times more vibrantly, happily, richly. And they feel it inside, but they don't know what to do. It's like driving that Ferrari, but using only the first and second gears. Sometimes the select few use the third gear, but there are 7 gears. And you understand, you can accelerate. You press the gas to the floor, it roars, growls, but it can't gain speed because you just can't switch the gear. That's how people are. They live on the lower levels. And if we take the realization of sexual energy, the first level is reproduction. Very primitive, like most animals. They just use sexual energy for reproduction, for making more of their own kind. This is the realization of sexual energy, but it is not the highest. We can call this one the animal level. Now, the second level of realizing sexual energy is pleasure, when a person uses sexual energy to feel pleasure. You know, only dolphins, monkeys, and humans have sex for pleasure. Other animals don't. They use it only for reproduction. So you see, the exclusivity is already increased. Those who use it for reproduction exist at the animal level, and those who use it for pleasure are on par with dolphins and monkeys. But this is not yet the human level. If you go higher, sexual energy can be used effectively. It rises, and you can physically feel it when you practice Tantra. It's called the rise of Kundalini energy. Those who are somewhat familiar with Tantra will understand me now. And when it rises even higher, this energy goes towards healing. First and foremost, healing the person themselves. This can be called blooming, when a person starts to shine. And it's very evident in teenagers when they do not yet have a sexual life. They don't spend sexual energy to have pleasure, so this energy is not wasted. It's not used for reproduction, but it helps them to bloom. They're full of energy. They're very beautiful, bright, attractive. This blooming moment can happen at any age if sexual energy is realized at a higher level. This involves healing, because at that moment, when a person blooms, they start to heal internally as their sexual energy heals them. If they know certain techniques, they can also heal other people. A true healer who is one who correctly realizes their sexual energy. If you rise even higher, it's the realization of sexual energy through superpowers. That is, a person can direct sexual energy to superpowers to reveal them. That's why at seminars, people often see each other's past lives, some even levitate. There was a real case, and it's quite funny, but this happens at very deep retreats when we go somewhere in the mountains, to sacred places in Tibet, India, or Altai, where there really is an atmosphere that allows you to merge with this nature, to feel your divine essence. I remember, we had a couple who became so immersed in each other that the energy exchange became very strong. The Kundalini energy was rising, and they began to go beyond their physical bodies. At this moment, first the man, then the woman started to lift slightly off the ground. And the people sitting next to them in pairs said, "They're levitating." And they realized those words were about them. They were looking into each other's eyes, doing breathing techniques, and circulating the energy from the man to the woman. He looked at her, she looked at him, and they started circulating the energy through their bodies, and it started lifting them. They heard people saying that they were levitating, and at that moment, all their energy went back down. And in a moment, they just fell back. They tried again later, but couldn't fly again. So everything that seems beyond us is actually not impossible for Tantra. Nothing is impossible for a person. Everything is subject to very simple and clear laws.
In our extreme times, when the fate of the entire planet is at stake, it is crucial for the knowledge of angels and benevolent spirits to spread as quickly as possible, globally, and reach thousands of people. In this way, we can change the future of all humanity. Which is why we are addressing you, dear soul of light. Spread the knowledge about our wise books and films. Share links to videos or cartoons. All of this is available and free. Invite women to individual practices, webinars, and seminars. And the Great Spirit of Light will help you and your family. It will direct an enormous amount of energy to fulfill all your desires. Benevolent spirits and angels will assist you and your loved ones in all matters. A thread of light and love extends from your heart to the hearts of thirsty women, and the creation of good and the dissemination of enlightened knowledge throughout the world begins. Become part of the mission of light. Help people, and God will help you.